subscribe and ring the bell to never miss an update. Hello everyone! Today on Lady Mary Beth, we are in Tomball, Texas, an antique and thrift destination just up the road from Houston. We are shopping Cherry Street Antiques, a place full of fabulous finds with a bit of history. Join me. It's always great to be back at Cherry Street Antiques. We have ventured here before and shared lots of great finds. You may want to take a look at that previous segment. And there is much in store for us today. Welcome to Cherry Street Antiques in Tomball. There is always lots to discover here with quality and craftsmanship that we don't find in items in box stores today. You can shop sustainably and affordably, finding amazing treasures with a bit of history. Can't wait to show you around the store. This ice bucket and tumbler set takes me back to the early 70s. I remember this as being a summertime entertaining essential. And I'm seeing more and more of this. We also found some at KT Antiques in Katy. And this would be a great item to bring back into your summertime entertaining. These vintage plastic insulated tumblers are known as raffia-ware. This will have you summer ready and perfect for poolside. These are from the 1960s and were produced by the Mallory Randall Corporation of Chicago. A multi-purpose item that is a space saver is always a great idea. This mid-century picnic basket is well priced at $35 and has some wonderful colors. You could certainly stash away some books, roll up a blanket, and place this in your living space. A beautiful crystal chandelier. It is well priced at $650. Those prisms are absolutely perfect and would elevate your dining or living space. There is a new dealer in this booth, and I can't wait to show you some of these fabulous collections, all with interesting history. And we can also find some interesting uses for some of these items. And I'm loving the blue and green. This compote is well priced at $18. And I'm sure you recognize that rainbow iridescent look as carnival glass. The Indiana Glass Company of Dunkirk, Indiana produced this lotus blossom design in the 1950s and 60s. But it wasn't until the 1970s that we saw this carnival glass version. It's well priced at $18 and has a bit of history. Carnival glass is made by applying a metallic salt spray to the molded glass while it is still hot and then fired. It creates that iridescent rainbow effect. This lotus blossom compote would be a wonderful addition to your tabletop collection. I could also see it nestled on a silver platter with fruit and a dip. Many ways to utilize this beautiful compote. We're finding more and more ashtrays on the secondary market, and we can certainly give these new life. I will share some ideas with you. It's big, blue, bold, and beautiful. What to do with a vintage ashtray? This has a beautiful design in that magnolia pattern from Tierra Glass, priced at $40. I see many uses for this. You could place this on your dresser for a jewelry catch-all, on your bar for keys and a wallet. Could also be the base for a pillar candle, build up a display on your buffet, or even showcase your Limoges box collection. Many ways that we can utilize this item from the past. Vintage snack sets are practical and perfect for entertaining. This is the Arlington pattern from Anchor Hawking that we've seen in a punch bowl, but not in the snack sets. Many ways to utilize these. We've shared lots of history and a visit to the Y Station in Carmine during the Round Top show. This one also has a built-in cigarette holder, ashtray, cup holder, and plate. Ruby Beauties. I will share lots of history of this very popular pattern. And that compote is stunning. And that was actually part of a wedding gift that they promoted in the line. These plates are gorgeous. $18 each. That would be perfect for the holidays. Red is such a fun color that you can incorporate into many different occasions. I'm loving these tumblers. And here's that serving bowl. Would be a great centerpiece as well. And that compote was known as their wedding bowl, and a creamer and sugar. A pattern that you're probably familiar with when we see at many antique stores. This we know today as King's Crown, but it started out in 1890 when Adams and Company produced this in the Victorian era. It was heavy with a ruby flashing, sometimes a gold rim, and that traditional sawtooth and thumbprint design. It was known as XLCR, Excelsior. What set it apart is that it had 3 mold marks or seams on each glass. This set of 4 tumblers is priced at $44 at $11 each. That is a very fair price to have a piece of history, a wonderful addition to your place setting, or barware. 2 years later, in 1892, Adams joined U.S. Glass. This was briefly called Dubonnet. And by 1943, Tiffin was making this same pattern, and in 1952, it was renamed King's Crown. In 1959, Indiana Glass Company started producing this King's Crown pattern, and you will see that it has a more rounded thumbprint instead of the oval, and of course, still that signature sawtooth and ruby design. They also made it their own in the mid-century with solid colors. This Ruby Beauty is also from the Indiana Glass Company, priced at $85. I can see it filled with berries. It went through even more changes. In 1971, it was acquired by Lancaster Colony. They streamlined the design and the process and renamed it to Colony Crown. Lots of vintage lunch boxes, some Texas cowboy boots, and as we turn the corner, we find sparkling Waterford Crystal at very affordable prices. And here's a tip. This heart design bowl that I'm about to show you, they have a larger version in the window that I found later for $60. Someone needs to go grab that. This is the smaller 6-inch bowl. Many ways to utilize this. Would be the perfect gift. Thrift the gift with some Waterford Crystal deals. This wedding heirloom bowl is 6 inches, has a beautiful heart design, would be a wonderful gift for any occasion, priced at $45. And I see another deal. A nice addition to your bar cart and entertaining essentials with the Waterford Crystal Glandor Ice Lip Jug. Glandor is that laurel leaf pattern you will see in many Waterford pieces. And you will see how the spout has been formed. That is to keep the ice inside the jug when you are pouring. This is well priced at $60. In the 1800s, mantle lustres were quite popular and a status symbol. These are pretty in pink, priced at $125 each. I've shared the history of these in a previous visit to Columbia Antique Marketplace in Columbia, Tennessee. The tallest glass cloche I've ever seen. Could certainly incorporate some decorative elements. Priced at $150. This has the original sticker. It is from Bard's and hand-blown glass. Lots of collections in this antique mall, including Hummel figurines, even a trinket box, and ornaments. And if you're looking for a gift for a collector, then this would be a great opportunity. And always look up high because you may see something wonderful that you would otherwise miss. And for beverage service, we have a couple of quite neat vintage and antique additions, including this 1887 cold water tankard from Meridian, priced at $95. Lots of interesting details, including on that spout. For mid-century entertaining, this is something that you would often see. And it actually has some information inside that I will share with you. And ice buckets are great for your bar cart, priced at $39. And I'm very surprised that it still has that original information card. Regal Ware produced quality aluminum ware in Kewaskum, Wisconsin as far back as 1945. This rose gold color aluminum ware was popular in the 1960s, and they even have the original card inside. It gives us lots of information, and there are many uses for this piece. They have quite a history of innovation. They've always kept up with the times, including acquiring a microwave cookware line and also an electric pizza cutter. Always something fun to discover here on the shelves, including a picture set and some figurines for home decor. Let's take a closer look at this picture. It has an etched pattern that I recognize. My mother would attend home parties for Princess House, and I love that it has the original information card. Occupied Japan is highly collectible, whether it's a dish pattern or a figurine. You could incorporate some of these into a glass cloche or even a centerpiece. They are made in Japan. Westmoreland Mill Glass, you can see it from a mile away. 8 glasses for $49, that is a fair price. It is a superior quality milk glass with an interesting history. And we will find the perfect pitcher while we shop the store today. This booth has some great items, including a pitcher that a viewer in Florida found during our last visit and called the store and had it shipped. Always something wonderful, including this purple glass. You probably remember us discovering this at Y Station in Carmine, priced at $35. And it has manganese, which is why it eventually turned purple, and it has become quite collectible. There is a lot here to see, but we will focus on the Flow Blue. And I will remind you of some of that history. It would be a nice display plate, and this teacup and saucer would be a great addition to your teacup collection. There is a lot that we will find here from different manufacturers. This cup is from 1893, made in Burslem, England. There is such rich detail here, and lots of information on the back stamp. A great selection of Flow Blue. The characteristic blue blurred design that we saw dating back to 1820 through the 1920s. Flow Blue is divided into 3 different time periods: early, middle, and late Victorian. It's not often that we find a complete Flow Blue tea set with a sugar and creamer, and that teapot is well priced at $50. And it looks like these are priced individually. And I would hope that someone would buy the entire set. The early Victorian period of Flow Blue is characterized by an angular design, romanticized patterns, and very much an Oriental influence. We see this tea set is a great example of that. You will see the shape on the bottom. We saw less of this in other time periods. This is about 1820 to 1860. A trio of Flow Blue plates would be an ideal wall display. This Johnson Brothers plate is from 1910. And this one is quite a bit older, from 1891, from the New Wharf Pottery in the Waldorf pattern. In the mid and late Victorian periods of Flow Blue, we see the introduction of floral patterns and also Japanese influences. We often find a trim around the plate, sometimes beadwork. The dealer tells us this is from the New Wharf Pottery in England from about 1878 to 1894. It is quite rare. If we turn it over and look at the back stamp, which is a roadmap to the history of a piece, we see that it is also blurred. The dealer has done a great job of sharing this information with us on all of the stickers. And this gives you an idea with a plate rack. It is that easy to pull together 3 plates for a wall display. A trio of flow blue plates, including the iconic blue willow, and another pattern that is highly collectible. This center plate has my attention. It has quite the blur in the design. It is from 1843 in the Oregon pattern, produced by T.J. Meyer of Longport, England. Of course, we have to turn it over and look at that back stamp, and we do see that Oregon. An unbelievable piece, and would be a great addition to your collection. A sweet and petite sandwich server. This elegant glass happens to also be uranium glass, well priced at $30, and a prelude of more to come. We will discover a treasure trove of Vaseline glass. Shelly is highly collectible with teacups, and here you can have the matching forget-me-not creamer and sugar, priced at $15. And of course, we'll turn it over and look for that back stamp. Pink was a popular color in the 1950s, primarily because of First Lady Mamie Eisenhower. This pattern incorporates pink and gray, a set of 6 bread and butter plates, perfect for a brownie or cookie, priced at $65. It is quite charming, and as we see on the back stamp, Charm is the pattern, fine bone china, made in England. This is a practical and pretty set. We're always serving cake or pie, and why not do it in style? Quite a find with this Waterford Crystal wedding cake knife and cake server set. And I will tell you more about it. Brand new in a box. And the price is right, $49 each. The perfect wedding gift, the Waterford Crystal's bridal knife and cake server. Of course, this could also be used for birthday or any other occasion. Great to have in your tabletop essentials or gift closet. It's not actually the Lismore pattern that came many years later. This is from the 1990s, well priced at $49 each. These retailed for over twice the price that many years ago. Blue willow is classic and pairs well with the ruby glass, perfect for Memorial Day, July 4th, or any time of the year. It also works nicely with this vintage blue basket priced at $28. The perfect sugar and creamer, lots of wonderful colors in this design from Royal Stafford, made in England. It is bone china in the Bluebell Time pattern. $15 for the creamer, and the sugar bowl is $13. And speaking of sugar, I see an interesting muffinier or sugar shaker. I have quite a few in my collection, but I don't have pottery. This is priced at $14 with a strawberry motif. It is made in Italy. That would be a great addition. Perfect for powdered sugar when you serve muffins, great for tea time. An interesting mid-century covered vegetable bowl. Pink was definitely popular. The creams and greens are calling. And I see Belique Parian china from Ireland. We always want to look at that back stamp, and that is how you can date a piece of Belique. Price at $28 for this vase. And I've shared lots of history at still good consignments. Roseville Pottery is also highly collectible. $22 for the creamer, and you want to look for that back stamp that is part of the mold. I've met lots of collectors in Round Top, where we do find quite a few pieces. Silver plate is something that is classic, especially when you can find the quadruplate, and this is extra special to find a teapot from Meridian, priced at $30. You could also use that as a vase. for a centerpiece. Huge collections of vintage glass here in this shop, including opalescent glass. And we will also find some china. This is from Spode. Lots of wonderful colors here, perfect for any season. And let's see which pattern. And the back stamp tells us it is Roseville. Beautiful name. They even have a quilt. But I am eyeing this picture. We found the tumblers earlier, and this would be a complete set. That Fostoria George and Martha that we've seen before. But I want to have a closer look at this picture. It's the ideal gift at a fantastic price point. You can hardly believe it. Thrift the gift with a bit of history. The Westmoreland Glass Company was founded in 1889 in Grapeville, Pennsylvania. They were known for their high-quality milk glass. For $20, you could certainly add some festive ribbons, fill it with lemons, and your best homemade lemonade recipe. And where else can you go for $20 for a great gift? Welcome to the wonderful world of uranium glass, also referred to as Vaseline glass. It is a type of glass made with a small amount of uranium oxide, typically around 0.1 to 2%. It is highly collectible, and many different manufacturers are represented here, including Northwood, Fenton, Utility Glassworks, and Duncan Miller. This opalescent beauty has a ruffled edge and absolutely stunning. $79. This is my favorite piece. Uranium glass, also known as Vaseline glass, was popular in the Victorian era. It is a type of glass that is made with small amounts of uranium oxide, has quite an interesting history, and was made by many different manufacturers, including Fenton. Uranium was discovered in 1789 by German chemist Martin Klaproth. He primarily wanted to use this as a glass colorant. It wasn't until the 1830s that glass was produced commercially with uranium, and that was from Joseph Riedel of Bohemia, and he named the yellow and green varieties after his wife, Anna Gelb and Anna Grün. Uranium glass gained popularity from the 1880s to the 1920s, with much influence during the Art Nouveau era. Baccarat developed a green opaque version of uranium glass that they named chrysoprase. We saw the production halted in the United States between 1942 and 1958 due to the war effort and work on the Manhattan Project. After this time, it was depleted uranium that was used in glassmaking. We are all aglow with a black light. I know that some shoppers will actually carry a black light with them when they are out antique shopping. And many collectors display their uranium glass in a case that is fitted with a black light. This is one of the oldest pieces in the case. I'll tell you about that in just a bit. And they also made satin glass. That's a bit unusual. You don't see that very often. And you may be shopping in antique stores and you don't even realize that it's uranium glass. It definitely has a different look, and now you see it without the black light. It's beautiful both ways. I think this is absolutely perfection with this heirloom design from Fostoria. It's quite rare at $175. Duncan Miller made the Sanibel scallop dish in 1939. Great for serving. It is actually a divided dish. The Northwood Alaska creamer is often referred to as lion's leg from 1897, and it is opalescent. And here's a look at that satin glass. Priced at $45. Beautiful design. Crackled glass at $150. And this Fenton ribbed optic vase at $75. It's a great price point, and you see that opalescent addition there. This is a newer piece that I will tell you more about. Quite intricate in that pressed glass design. Great price at $59. And this pitcher is quite interesting. A rare example of uranium glass is this pitcher made by the Utility Glass Works of Lonaconing, Maryland. They operated from 1920 to 1929, and they got their name because they made automobile lenses. This is a fabulous piece. You will see the handle is amber. It is priced at $150, and it certainly is Vaseline glass and sells for $200 and up on the secondary market. Uranium glass is more popular than ever with the younger generation. This Halley's Comet-inspired bowl with the vintage design is from the Metropolitan Museum of Art, priced at $59. Quite a collection of Depression glass sherbet dishes. This is great for brunch, even tea time. It elevates something on a plate, and it keeps it separate from other food items. And it is safe for serving. Surprisingly, this is uranium glass. Another reason to carry around a black light flashlight. And I will share some ideas on how I use these for serving. And it could even be a jewelry dish if you found just one at a thrift store, a set of 4 berry bowls for $29. Many uses. These Depression glass sherbet dishes are also uranium glass, made by Anger Hawking in the block optic pattern. These were often premiums. Companies such as Quaker Oats would include one in a box of oatmeal, and that way you could add on to your collection or go to your local 5 and dime and purchase more. There are many ways that we can incorporate these into our table settings today, with strawberries Romanoff, shrimp cocktail, chocolate mousse, or scoop of homemade vanilla ice cream. We find more Vaseline glass in this case, and also America's favorite pattern. This is the most prolific pattern in U.S. glassmaking history, and a great deal on that pitcher. We'll have a closer look at some of these wonderful finds, including those candle holders, a Hummel figurine, and Corningware cornflower blue. There are so many treasures in this case. There is lots to discover in this case, including the Fostoria American pattern number 2056. It was the most prolific in U.S. glassmaking history, and that pitcher is well priced. From the Fenton Glass Company, we have a pair of uranium candle holders, $100, well priced. Aren't these true beauties? And I see something blue and white to discover. $100 is an excellent price for these uranium candle holders from Fenton. Reminds me of the Houston Glass Show. This Fostoria is picture perfect. It is well priced at $49. It probably hasn't sold yet because it is high up in the case. Definitely worth asking them to grab the key and get it down for you. The blue and white hand-painted Fenton pieces are rare. I've only seen this once before, and that is when I received a gift from my friend Iman, who purchased a vase at the Gas Lamp Antiques in Nashville. This basket is priced at $39. And a wonderful find with that blue and white, hand-painted by D. Frederick. Makes it even more interesting that it was hand-painted. Mid-century Viking glass. This ashtray has the perfect shape to accentuate a bowl or vase on a sideboard or centerpiece, priced at $35. Lots of barware and stemware here, including the mid-century Georgian glasses, often referred to as honeycomb, and they're priced at $42 for a set of 6, and that red goes with just about any season. An affordable way to set an interesting table, all with different patterns. Mix and match at 40% off anything with the green dot, which are most all these glasses. Some great brands represented here, including Lenox, Marquis by Waterford, and Vera Wang for Wedgwood. $6, $8, plus the discount, you can't beat it. And Christian Dior. This is quite a find. 40% off of $6. I think that will sell quickly. Let's step into the mid-century with some fantastic finds with barware, dishes, and a popular vase from this era. The vibrant colors were all important for entertaining, and this has become quite collectible and popular again as more of us are entertaining in our homes. Here we have a complete set with a carry-all. You can go from inside to your patio with one hand. A classic gold and white screen print. $40 for the set that includes the shaker. This mid-century ice bucket has a walnut lid priced at $55. It's a classic look in perfect condition. A set of 5 tumblers for $20. That's a very fair price for authentic mid-century. I will tell you more about this set, and you will notice the SC. Step into the 60s with mid-century barware. The Libby Glass Company made the falling leaf frosted pattern, and in 1968, the Southern Comfort riverboat design. These gold and aqua highballs will pair nicely with some dishes that we find here. If you're looking for durable and fun, you have found it. These plates are well priced at $10 each, with an interesting history from a company known for fiestaware. Made in Newell, West Virginia. Best china from the Homer Laughlin China Company, made in the USA. Best China is the brand of restaurant and hotelware started by the Homer Laughlin Company that they launched in 1959. This pattern is called Festival. It certainly looks like a party on a plate. It was made in several different colors. We know that it is durable and has stood the test of time and would be a great investment. A Lazy Susan on a wooden base for $55. Love those mid-century colors. And we have some amber glass, pressed glass, and hand blown. Pattern number 384 from the Blinko Glass Company is a best seller. This water carafe has been continuously produced since year 1938. It was originally designed as a water pitcher to fit into the narrow door shelves of the newfangled electric icebox. This is about half of retail, which is $92, and it is made today in colors such as cerulean, sea spray, clover, canary, and dreamsicle. Swung vases have an interesting history and are also inspiring. I want to share with you that a viewer known as Deep Black Shop on Instagram is a potter. He has handcrafted a rendition of the iconic mid-century swung vase in pottery form. I will include his information in the video description. A small collection of mid-century swung vases. This is the Fenton diamond point pattern. They have some vibrant colors, great selection, and these are on the small side, which is nice. It can fit into your home decor. I have featured these in previous visits to the Houston Glass Show and Sale, and I've also shared the history, how these are made. The 5-finger vase, also known as Norleans. These were made in Taiwan, occasionally in Italy, during the mid-century. Got a great example of the cobalt and amber. Opalescent adds even more interest to this mid-century swung vase. Made by Fenton, this is known as the Boggy Bio swung vase and the French white. Send in the clowns. This has to be the most unique find today at Cherry Street. And you'll notice that the clown's red nose is intact. It is worth every penny of the $60. For collectors, that is most important. Someone has had their hand in the cookie jar. Let's turn it over and look at the molded back stamp, Sierra Vista. Quite a find. Antique shops are full of surprises and a bit of kitchenware nostalgia. This cookie jar was made by the Sierra Vista Company, a California potter known for its mid-century aesthetic. They produced cookie jars between the 1940s and the 1960s, and quite a few clowns and trains. So glad you joined me today for Cherry Street Antiques in Tomball. We found some amazing treasures, great way to shop sustainably and affordably, and an incredible selection of vintage glass, all with a bit of history. Thanks again for joining Lady Mary Bath. Elevate your everyday with antique shopping.